Hey creative business owners, welcome to Tripod. If this is your first time here, let me go ahead and ask, wherever you're listening, however you're listening, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Maybe you're just dipping in for this one episode, but I'm constantly making new episodes that are about business growth, digital marketing to help you, the creative business owner. Now, if you do that, you can also check out some of our prior episodes this month. So this is No Facebook November. And what I do is I pretty much shut down, put up the closed sign on all of the business assets for Tricycle Creative during the month of November. It was never strategically planned to be November, but weirdly enough, it just, after last year, I did it for the first time last year, which would be 2020. And then all the stuff, the Facebook papers came out this year in 2021. And that prompted me to say, hey, you know what? Let's give it another whirl. And the last couple episodes I've done here on Tripod, the Tricycle Creative Podcast, we have featured and talked about a whole bunch of different things. We talked about other social platforms you can use. I believe that was one episode ago with Hillary Applegate from Social HQ. Some groundbreaking, mind-blowing shit in that episode about Pinterest and TikTok. So if you haven't checked it out, don't leave now, but go and check it out. We also talked about owned platforms with Kayla Knob. And that one was also huge because it covers the subject of these platforms that, again, I'm going to use air quotes here, are owned, that are yours, that are not completely ruled and headlocked by an algorithm. Ways that you can really connect and control the messaging and the reach and the design and everything about that. So in that episode, we talked a lot about website and email. So definitely go back and check those out. Even if you're not thinking about completely cutting out Facebook, whether it's for a month or forever from your marketing strategy. So today I am talking about other strategies, two specifically. I'm talking about SEO and YouTube. But before we jump into those, I think it's important that I tee it up. So if it's okay with you, I'm going to tee it up.
You're listening to Tripod, a podcast produced by Tricycle Creative to help safely navigate creative business owners through the worlds of digital marketing, strategic content creation, and business growth. Host Ross Herosian is a marketing consultant, content creator, and entrepreneur who brings you helpful tips, social media updates, inspiring interviews, and his own unique perspective on how to tell your story and grow your business. So if you're interested in being a better marketer, business owner, or creator, sit back, relax, and let's get pedaling.
The first thing I want to reiterate on this episode is something that I have talked about a lot on this podcast in its entirety, but certainly in the last couple episodes, is that Facebook is a distribution and publishing platform. I just want that to soak in a second here, right? I think everyone, understandably, it's social media, but I don't know. In that, yes, you can communicate with other people, but that moniker does not feel and really isn't accurate anymore. I want you to understand that Facebook's value to your business is in its ability to reach either your audience of people who are following you or a potential audience of prospective customers. That is the value of Facebook, is the reaching of audiences. Okay? The social aspect was the really nice, innocent way that it started, but it is different now. And I'm not even going to slap a tag on it to be that it is evil. Now, that is, we talk about that a lot, that the impact of its decisions on marketing, but also society as a whole. I'm going to put that on the shelf for right now. I just want you to understand that Facebook is a distribution and publishing platform. The sooner that you start to at least recognize that, I think the sooner you can start to make a turn with how you utilize Facebook. And a huge part of this distribution platform is tied to the algorithm, the A word. We talk a lot about algorithm. And in layman's terms, it's just that it has a formula that it takes in many factors to determine what content you see in your feed, and by extension, what content your audience, even page followers, see in their feed. Now, I was reading a report, and the last kind of 2021 report about social media, and particularly about Facebook, was that when you post organically, so let's always define. I like to take things with the training wheels and take it slow. Organically, it means you post something on your Facebook page, your business page, that we're talking about here, and you don't put any money behind it. You just put something up, you hit post. That's an organic post. That on average, you reach, or business audiences, brand pages reach 5.6% of their audience. 5.6%. That's not a lot at all. And that's, I think, a misnomer. People, former clients, current clients, they say, oh, I have 1,000 followers. And, having 1,000 followers is fantastic. But, here, I'm not good at math, so let me just do the math right here. So we got 1,000. I'm going to do it live, times 5.6. You're going to reach, this should have been easy math. I know what you're saying, like, wow, Ross, you're terrible. Just relax, all right? 56 people at best of 1,000. This is where, again, I just want to hammer it home. Facebook is a distribution platform. So the other thing to factor in here is that 5.6%, it hasn't always been that low or that number. When business pages first started out, it was much higher, but people complained. And I think also just part of a wiser, smarter, longer business strategy move, Facebook said, well, if they're businesses, they will be more likely to pay money for more reach or for more engagement or to get in front of more people. So that number, the air has really come out of what is called organic reach. And that's why in all of these recent episodes this month for No Facebook November, we've been talking about other ways that you can reach your target audience. And so today I'm talking about search engine optimization and YouTube. Let's go. Our first stop this episode is going to be search engine optimization. And let me address a common question. Does being on social help search engine optimization? And when I say social, that is gonna cover the blanket, right? So okay, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Let's just go with this. Let's even say TikTok, right? Does being on social platforms help SEO? Well, the answer, like a lot of things in digital marketing, is yes and no. There seems to be a viable connection of credibility when you have a social account. So, Google and search engines can see on your website, okay, if you're linking out to a social account for your business, there seems to be some connection at least that provides an ever so small lift. Now, when it comes to SEO, I like to tell my clients is about a scorecard. There are hundreds of things that you can do. You may not be able to do all hundreds of them, but you want to try to do as many as possible. So if we're talking about trying to get that point, why not, right? Being able to link out and establish, if you will, that, hey, not only do I have a website, but I also have a social account, that kind of thing, that are associated with my business. So in that way, there seems to be a kind of loose, but an existing connection. The other way that social can help SEO is with backlinks. So backlinks are essentially links to your website. So the one thing that search engines and Google can understand is where your traffic comes from. So if you are sharing links on your social media accounts and people click them and they end up on your site, there again, once again, seems to be even if it's loose, an existing connection of value and benefit of having social and putting your links to your website and things like that go back to your website. So in that way, these are the two kind of ways that it does have that loose connection. But the thing that you need to understand is that these giant digital media companies, Google, Facebook, Twitter, they have a very volatile relationship. And that's, I think, putting it kindly. For a while, and this seems to be an on again, off again, hot and cold relationship, Twitter tweets would come up in search results. That does not seem to be the case anymore. But again, at the time of this recording, that's the case. But the Twitter relationship with Google seems to at least be the most kind of connected, honestly, like the most that they're both like handshake. Okay, it's fine. We're going to let it happen. But again, it's very hot and cold. You also seen earlier this year, Google was testing out showing up short form videos from TikTok and I believe Reels in results, but it was just a test. They did not and have not rolled that out in any major official full on capacity. And I think it's important for you to know why all this happens. And you're probably saying it's obvious, but just in case it's not, is each one of these platforms wants you like in their playground, right? They want you to hang out with them and kind of with them alone. And when you hang out with them, you spend money with them, you give them time, you give them benefit, right? Just by hanging out with them. So they all selfishly kind of want to hog your attention. So they don't really want to share you with other ones. And that spills over into the services that they provide. They also prefer to stick with and promote their own products, right? If we're going to use the playground analogy, they kind of want you to also hang out with their friends, the people that they know. I think case in point here, we're talking about SEO is Google. They definitely want you to land on, go to, and hang out with YouTube. Google owns YouTube. They want you. They know YouTube. They know YouTube really well. So they want you to hang out with YouTube also. Google also really knows Google My Business. That product has, for almost all intents and purposes, has eaten the lunch of Yelp and other services like that because Google prioritizes Google My Business listings. Why? Because it's their product and they know it. And because it's their product and they know it, they can integrate it more fully into results. Looking at modern search results now, so much of what ends up in the results page is pulled in from Google My Business. The maps listing, the reviews, the recommendations, the photos, so much is being pulled in from Google My Business. Now, talking about SEO, who is this strategy best for? Well, I'm going to paint a picture here, and I'm going to say the patient-focused, data-tracking content creator. Now, I know that sounds like a lot, and maybe you heard that and like, well, that's not me. Or maybe you heard it like, go on. If this is not you, I get it. But I do want to stress that SEO if you were going to press me a little on, should I do? And again, there are no absolutes, but I guess let's just roll with this for a second. In a vacuum, should I do social or SEO? That's a tough thing. And I guess I would say it does depend on your business, that kind of thing. But I highly, 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 highly value SEO. So rarely are you going to be in a situation where you have to pick one or the other. So I would encourage you to investigate and look into SEO, which we're going to talk about how you can get started with SEO in a little bit here. But let's go back to the patient-focused data tracking content creator. The person who does SEO, they need to take time to get footholds and move your way up search rankings. SEO takes time. It needs to be a commitment. My SEO done for you contracts are at a minimum of 6 months. Minimum of 6 months. And I think sometimes, depending on how competitive your industry is, you're going to need longer than that. So you need to understand that expectation right up front. It's definitely also something where you need to collect and analyze data and signals. Now, as a digital marketer, I would say this factor of looking at data and analyzing data and understanding it, that should apply to your social media, it should apply to all the digital that you do. But I want to stress, especially it's true with SEO, because it takes such a long amount of time. You need to be collecting data along the way and pivoting at times and understanding what you need to do or what this means. So this is also a strategy that I think is good for someone who is a wordsmith. Now, I was not a wordsmith before I really started diving into SEO. I'd say probably two years ago. But over time, I got to tell you, I've been working on that craft, and it was really, really, really hard for me. And it might be hard for you. I could create video, I could do a social post, I could make a photo, I could make a graphic, but writing was difficult for me, to the point where when I was on a team in a prior role at SiriusXM on the digital content team, they wouldn't even let me write. I tried my hand once, and it was not one of those things where I'm like, I'm going to do a shitty job so they don't let me do it. I tried, and I was terrible at it. So they say, yeah, Ross, you don't worry, we'll take care of the writing. So if that's you, I get it. Okay. I'm going to tell you right now about a book that completely transformed and kickstarted my copywriting life. And it is, hold on, I'm actually going to do the Google search here. This is how this show rolls, right? Sometimes we do things, just do it live, right? Copywriting, hold on, copywriting secrets, but I want to make sure I give you the Copywriting Secrets by Jim Edwards. Guys, run, don't walk to get that book. It's so good. It's so good. And it gives such practical, actionable tips and advice. It's amazing. Copywriting Secrets, Jim Edwards. It's $16 paperback, $10 Kindle. A worthwhile investment in your copywriting skills. I'm telling you, copywriting, in the time that I've been doing this, it has shot up my list of top skills that creative business owners need. And I'm going to tell you, it has informed and improved my content creation as a whole. Because I typically start off with any content where I'm going to write an outline or I'm going to write something down, and then I, record it if it's video, edit it, obviously. But being able to write well, I'm not talking grammar. So if I'm like, listen, I struggle with that still too. It's an amazing skill to have. And again, like I said, for a long time, I kind of, I put it at the bottom of the list, but guys, it's shot up the list. It is possibly at the top, honestly. It is an amazing skill, and you should absolutely want to improve it. So the patient-focused data tracking content creator, the wordsmith, SEO is good for you. So what I've loved doing on all of our No Facebook November episodes, and very often in many of my episodes period, is giving you some tips on what you can do if you want to get started with insert strategy here. So what I'm going to do right now is give you some tips and guidance on what you can do to get started with SEO today, ideally today, but this week, that kind of thing, that are Simple, low-hanging. By no means is this exhaustive, right? If you check all of these boxes, it doesn't mean you're going to all of a sudden shoot up the rankings. But we all have to start somewhere. I mean, that's Tricycle Creative's jam, is training wheels, right? Is that you can't just jump right onto riding a bike. You got to start with those training wheels. So consider these the training wheels, if you will, of SEO if you want to get started. So the first thing you can do is create, if you haven't created, your Google My Business account. I talked about how intertwined that it is into search. If you do not have a Google My Business account right now, you are what are you doing? I don't even know what to tell you. You need to do it. So if you don't have a Google My Business account, it is free. It is super simple to set up. Do it. Now, if you're sitting there and you say, haha, Ross, in your face, I have a Google My Business account, but I would say, aha, are you using it though? When was the last time you went in? Because Google has been pushing a ton of updates. Make sure, go into it on a weekly basis and make sure everything is up to date. Post to it, add content. Guys, here's the thing. This is a No Facebook November episode. Even if it weren't, I tell people prioritize posting and adding content to Google My Business just as much, if not more, than Facebook. Okay, go into your Google My Business, add photos. You can create posts in there. I believe they classify them as updates, but add posts about your business because those also can appear in search and it gives Google more information about what you do. Update, utilize, use Google My Business. Don't just be passive with it. Don't just have an account. Also, this is huge. Get reviews on your Google My Business. More important than getting reviews on Facebook. Okay, yeah, I'm just going to say it. More important than getting reviews on Facebook. Because the reviews spill over also in Google search. So I challenge people often to, if you have no reviews or you're working reviews, get 5 to 10. 10's kind of the good number. Reviews on Google My Business, before you start to diversify your reviews. And what I mean by that is before you start getting them on Facebook or before you start getting them on Yelp, whatever, like prioritize and focus and only drive people to Google My Business until you have 10. Okay. Ideally 10 good ones. And then you can start to mix in the other platforms. Okay. All right. So number 1, Google My Business. Number 2, create a blog. If you don't have a blog, create it. And create a blog post. I'm going to set the bar low once a month. Now, if you're scared, as I was, and really, creating blogs and writing, I get it. Like it can be terrifying, particularly if you're not that wordsmith, but let me give you some help on that, right? Here's where you can start. Start by addressing common questions that your current customers or prospective customers or people you just talked to. What are the common questions that they ask you? Write a blog post about each one of those individual questions. One question, blog post. Now, just a rule of thumb, I think if you can get that blog post to be just to start over 500 words, that's what I want you to be aiming for, okay? Without, again, making this an entire SEO dissertation, that at least starts to make sure that it's not just a question and a 2-sentence answer for a blog. You need a little more than that. You need to put a little more meat on the bone, as I say. Another great resource, if you are just getting started with blogging, is a website called answerthepublic.com. Again, it's answerthepublic.com. It's a freemium site, but what you can do is you can put in a key phrase or a keyword, or in your case, you can put in what your business does. So maybe your, plumbing, or kitchen plumbing, or bathroom plumbing, or home inspector. You can put in a key phrase, and it gives you like all this data around what are questions that people ask on the internet about that key phrase. So it can really give you some great tangents to write about and address in your blog content. All right, Google My Business, create a blog. Third, I talked about this in, I believe, the owned episode of the No Facebook November, the website page audit. Now, this doesn't have to be fancy. In fact, what I work with in clients, mine is not fancy. Because it doesn't need to be fancy to work, people. All right? I mean, I'm sure they exist, but you don't see too many hammers out there that are bedazzled. They don't need to be, because they work. They just make them work. Okay, so here's what you can do. You can do this in Excel. You can do this in Google Sheets. Hell, you can do this in a sheet of paper. I'm going to give you, so we are going to look at this like a grid. I'm going to give you the columns, the things that go vertically in this. Okay, first column for your website audit is the page title. What's the title of this particular page on your website? And so what you're going to do with this is go through your website and, fill in this information. So let's say you have a home page and a services page. Okay, so then your page title is whatever. It's probably not called home. It's probably called Joe's Home Inspection Service. Okay, that's the title. Okay, next row, next one down. Okay, services. Okay, I have a services page and it is called services. So services. Okay, so you with me so far as creating this audit? So page title, that's the first column. Second column is the URL for that respective page. Third is the purpose of the page. What are you trying to do? Right? Or what purpose is this page serving for you, right? So again, a services page, a purpose would be to showcase the actual services and maybe price points that we provide. Okay, there you go. You can even use that one. It's fine. Next column, the action that you want the visitors to take. So I think everyone defaults to buy, right? But when you look at this in its entirety, you're going to see, oh my God, maybe I am hammering them over the head too much with this. And not every page necessarily, the action you want them to take is to buy something. Right? Maybe it's a contact us. Maybe you want them to check out a blog post. Maybe you want them to call you very specifically, to call you. Maybe you want to capture their email. Maybe you, want them to, go to another very specific page. Okay, from this page, I want the path. I want them to go to this page. So that's what you want to document here, the actions that you want your visitors to take. And then the last column, what I'd like for you to put is, what are if someone were searching for this page, what are the keywords that you would want this page to come up for? So again, let's use the example of the Joe's Home Inspector. I think that's what I threw out there. Okay, well, the keyword I would want would be, home inspector. And I'm in Austin, Texas. Home Inspector, Austin, Texas. It could be a key phrase. It could be a single word, but it can also be a phrase. Let's keep those phrases to 3 to 5 words. Okay? So that's the website audit. It's super simple to do. And like I said, you can do this. And when you do this, it should provide that clarity to understand at least, okay, this is just a starting point, and this is something that you can take a big part of what I do is about getting started and understanding and getting that foothold, if you will, for when and if you go and ask for more help among specialists, among coaches like me, among agencies. This type of document gets you thinking and gets you at least doing the work of analyzing your current state of SEO. And that kind of brings me to the final thing that you can do, which is you can check out the Tricycle Creative SEO Bootcamp. So the Tricycle Creative SEO Bootcamp, it's a 6-week program. I work with you to help you understand the basics of SEO, what you can do yourself to start to impact and improve your SEO. And for pretty much everyone I've done this for, we see absolute improvements in site rankings in just 30 days. So you can go to tricycle-creative.com/SEO bootcamp. I will also put the link in the episode notes, and you can always get these for the show notes at tripodpodcast.com. Just to give you a little bit sneak peek to here, what we do, or what I do, is we'll talk a lot more in depth about what is SEO. You're going to learn how search engines actually work. I'm going to talk to you about SEO myths. There are a lot of people out there slinging a lot of bullshit about SEO, and a lot of it's antiquated. It's stuff that will no longer work, but they still take it as gospel and sell it as gospel. I will share with you and talk with you about the free and paid SEO tools that can help you with your tracking, analytics, and content creation. I will also work with you to build your specific keyword list. That's the backbone, if you will, of your SEO strategy, is a keyword list. And finally, I'll work with you and show you how to create SEO optimized content. So again, that's the Tricycle Creative SEO Bootcamp. You can find out more about it on our website, tricycle-creative.com. And I will put the link to that in this episode's notes. So that's SEO, but we're not done yet. Still got a lot to do here, people. We still got to talk about the tubes. Got to talk about YouTube. So, let's do it.
Hey, Steve.
Oh, hey, David.
What are you up to?
I just got back from the doctor.
And you're excited?
Well, you know how recently I've been confused about my marketing?
Yeah.
Well, I've been unable to conduct simple marketing tasks. Plus, I have this persistent anxiety about posting on social media. I told this to the doctor, and he said I have MAP.
MAP? What's that?
Marketing Analysis Paralysis. It affects most creative business owners and in some cases can even lead to business failure.
Oh, man. But it seems like you're not worried about that happening to you.
Yeah, the doctor gave me this pamphlet.
Marketing Clarity Coaching Program by Tricycle Creative?
Yep, they have this 10-week intensive coaching program where they can help me better define my customers, build my brand identity, and when it's over, I'll have hundreds of content ideas and opportunities.
So obviously you're going to do it, right?
Yeah, I've been putting this off for too long. I'm going to head over to getmarketingclarity.com right now and book my 15-minute call.
Getmarketingclarity.com? I think I'll head over there too.
So let's start with this. YouTube is the second largest search engine, second to Google, which owns YouTube. It is also subject to its own algorithm. How things come up on your homepage, that kind of thing, and how things come up even inside of search and in recommendations. Yes, there are algorithms ruling the space there, but because it's also connected to Google, you have such increased opportunities for your video to be found and discovered and viewed. So that's why I think it does have a leg up, a considerable leg up when we're talking video content to uploading video exclusively and only to like Facebook, right? So who is YouTube best for? Well, my list does not, this may shock you, my list does not include, the video editor. There are so many great video editing tools out there that are accessible that I don't think you need to be this amazing editor to actually have a tremendous amount of success on YouTube. And I'll talk a little bit more about that here in a second. But I think this strategy or being on YouTube is really good for a business that's in a how-to space. What does that mean? Well, I think many of us are in a how-to space, but it's in a space where there's a lot of questions or maybe even accessibility for people to do things themselves. So how-to content is humongous on YouTube. I had our kitchen sink, the drain was clogged, and where's the first place I went? I Googled. Well, actually, did I Google or did I YouTube? I probably went straight to YouTube, but you get my point here. I say it interchangeably. I went to YouTube, looked it up, and found a video on how I could fix it. And I will let you know that I did fix it. I also let my wife know that I fix it every single day, just in case she forgets. Gets quite annoying for her, but wow, did I do it? Because I'm not generally handy, But YouTube helps people to be handy, helps people to accomplish things. It's a huge value, for sure, for people who are looking to maybe DIY something. And I think tied to that, YouTube is great if you are someone or a business with subject matter expertise. Now, I know a lot of you out there may be sheepish or concerned about, if I give away everything on Facebook, I'll have nothing left to sell. For those of you who's, like me, our expertise is kind of our livelihood, right? I saw something on Twitter, and I've just been talking a lot about it. It's just like, I don't do these free pick your brain sessions because my brain is my business, right? I don't do free strategy sessions, but as you will see on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Tricycle Creative, I do a ton of how-to strategy, walkthroughs, recommendations, things like that. Because here's the thing, guys. If you're gun shy about doing it, and you're not doing it, I do have a spoiler alert for you. The information is out there. It's out there. In some way, shape, or form, someone else is doing something similar to what you do. Now, this is the great thing, and I can speak just about my space, digital marketing, is there are a million people out there talking about the same subject that I talk about, but only I talk about it the way I talk about it, right? So, and I think this can apply to you also, is people have choice of who they would work with, but where YouTube can really help when it comes to your business is to, people get to know you in a way, shape, or form through your videos. I had a guy who signed up for my coaching program just this week and say, hey, I feel like I get like a pretty good feel for who you are and how you work just through the content you put out, and particularly through your YouTube channel. So it is absolutely something that can move your business. Now, of course, you shouldn't give away, what is the saying? Give away the milk without the cow. I don't know if that's the right metaphor, but let's roll with it. Don't give it all away, but figure out ways that you can give out information, things of value. If that value is knowledge, if that value is entertainment, if that value is walkthroughs, whatever that value is, give away things of value that can attract people to want to work with you more. Okay? That's a key, and I recognize it's not the easiest thing, but it's something that I think is critically important if you're looking to jump into YouTube for your business. So just like we did with SEO, let's talk a little bit about, if you are interested in YouTube, what you can do to get started. Now, I would highly recommend, particularly, if you have a business, I probably recommend this. I was going to say, if you have a business that is definitely separate of your name, so let's again, I'm Joe, but I own, Capital Pools. Okay, you're going to want to create what's called a brand account on YouTube. And you can just do a search for this, create YouTube brand account. You connect it to a Gmail, and then you can kind of use YouTube, similar to on Facebook, how you have like your personal account and you have your business page. It's the same type of concept. Now, that being said, if the business is you may not necessarily need that, but I would 90% of the time push people to create a brand account, even if the business is just for you, because you get some extra and different features. You can also differentiate, your content a little. I use YouTube personally very different than I use YouTube as a business. I watch a lot of Twitch streams, and I watch, just like, honestly, like just some stupid stuff, right? And I don't necessarily want that to even be like showing up on my business account. So I use my personal account, and I've made some videos of the family and stuff like that, right? Maybe you want to share those. Well, you don't want to have to put those on your business page. That is a little odd. So this is the benefit of creating a brand account. Now, next step might seem obvious, might not say obvious, but the answer is start creating videos. Now, here is the just fantastic advice that I got from a guy named Sean Cannell. He has a very successful YouTube channel and kind of business, but and he said, for the first 50 videos that you create, do not worry about anything else outside of creation. I'm going to repeat that because it's huge. For the first 50 videos that you create, do not worry about anything else outside of creation. Just focus on making the videos. Don't worry about likes. Don't worry about views. Hone your craft. Get used to it. Get comfortable. Get in your own shoes. Get in your own head. Like, guys, this is huge. Don't obsess over views. I recently went through our YouTube channel. Again, youtube.com/Tricycle Creative. Head on over there, subscribe. And was going through old videos, and I was like, oh my God, these are kind of brutal to watch, right? But it's on the backs of those videos that I got to where I am now. Okay? And I ain't going to even sit here and say where I'm at now is the bee's knees, but it's much better than where I was. And that is what this is all about. That's what digital marketing is all about, guys. I want you to hear this, is that people always ask, what's the best? Don't worry about best. Don't worry about best. Worry about better. How can you take from where you are now and be better? Don't worry about being the best. If you every single day worry about being better, you're going to be so much better off than trying to be the best. And who knows, maybe one day, maybe that will be you, but you're going to keep pushing the envelope. You're going to keep pushing it. If you also don't know where to start with your videos, you can take a similar approach that I talked about with the blog, answering questions, common questions. I'll give you some other stuff too, and this is straight from my content coaching program, Clarity. You can go to getmarketingclarity.com, getmarketingclarity.com to learn more about the 10-week program that is just revolutionizes people's business, gives them actionable marketing plans, and a hell of a lot more marketing how-to. Marketing Clarity coaching program, getmarketingclarity.com. A section of this in the content section, I talk about what's called content pushes, and I'm just going to give you a couple of these. And again, going along with my analogy of Tricycle Creative or the business, where when you first get started on a tricycle or on a bicycle, you need a push from someone, right, to get that momentum. Well, here we go. I'm going to give you some content pushes to get you started. We've talked about the how-to. That's a great, great place to start. Even if it's just what you would consider a mundane business task, I'm going to tell you, even if you think it's out there, and it probably is, there's no one out there doing it quite like you or talking about it quite like you, right? So there's value there. Lists. So create content around lists. So again, if you are a home inspector, maybe it's even just, your top 5 lists of tools, the best tools for a home inspector. Or, top 5 issues that you see, the most common issues, that kind of thing. Versus, this is a popular one because you can even take some aspect about your business and maybe your competitors, and you can really dig into why you believe or why it actually is, how you do it or what you do is better, right? Or your product versus someone else's product, Big Mac versus Whopper or whatever it is. I don't think any of you out there are, was it Ray Kraft? But nonetheless, you get my point. A versus. And the last one, and this is just of a laundry list of content pushes, again, from my coaching program, Marketing Clarity, mistakes. This is a good one, right? What are common mistakes that you see or hear or deal with in your line of business? Okay. So, you now have the knowledge and at least some starting points for YouTube. So, let's wrap this episode up. So, I covered a lot of stuff in today's show, talking about SEO and YouTube and how, now, of course, the context here is how you can apply your time and effort and resources to this instead of Facebook, or again, maybe give up Facebook in lieu for these, but you don't have to do that. Let me just be clear. I know that may be an extreme circumstance, but I'm not asking you to choose between these and Facebook. That's what I'm doing right now as far as just putting Facebook on the shelf, but you don't have to do that. It doesn't have to be an either or. And that's, I think, really where, when you work with a good coach, obviously I'm biased like me, helping you figure out, you don't have 1,000 hours in a week. You have X amount of hours, you have a limited amount of energy, and you have a life. How to try to fit all of these strategies in and execute them in a timely and effective and efficient manner. I think at the end of the day, that's what digital marketing is all about. And that's the big challenge for creative business owners. But learned a ton today. I hope you did, on SEO. Again, if you want to work with me, the SEO Bootcamp, tricycle-creative.com/SEO Bootcamp. But I also gave you some tips on what you can be doing to get started. Then on the YouTube front, I love YouTube. I really do. I spend so much time there. I really enjoy it. So you have your marching orders there on how to get started. I am also working on, just so you know, I guess a little tease here, a YouTube bootcamp, which will be coming soon on the website, tricycle-creative.com. And you can get show notes that contains the breakdown of everything I talked about in this episode on our website, tripodpodcast.com. And before you dip out, one more reminder. If you're just dipping in for this episode, consider subscribing. And also, if you found this episode to be helpful, please leave a review wherever you're listening. That really, really, really means a lot to me. So until next episode, until next time, I encourage you to keep pedaling.
Thanks for listening to Tripod. Be sure to subscribe and rate the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, Stitcher, or wherever you listen. For show notes and past episodes, go to tripodpodcast.com. Connect with Tricycle Creative on social media at Hello Tricycle, and learn more about how we can help you with your marketing at tricycle-creative.com.